Pink Floyd sells catalog, Spirit Airlines possible bankruptcy, the Fed's mistake, and MJ's new car. Today, I read an article on foxbusiness.com written by Janelle Ash titled, Pink Floyd sells recorded music catalog for $400 million. According to the author, the band sold its recorded music catalog along with its name and likeness rights to Sony Music for $400 million. The author went on to say, Sony has spent more than $1 billion on music catalogs from Bob Dylan to Bruce Springsteen. Here are my thoughts. I'm happy for the band. I hope they invest the money wisely. Unfortunately, things haven't always worked out so well for artists in the past who sold their music catalogs. Some burned through the money and no longer had the same revenue stream they once had, and life got real. This doesn't just happen in the music business. I have an acquaintance who sold his business in the late 1990s for close to $100 million. He blew through most of that money, and he has had to adjust his lifestyle significantly. Sometimes I see these commercials on television for companies that buy structured settlements. They tell people they can get cash now. I always cringe when I watch these commercials. I'm curious, what do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I read another interesting article today. This one was on foxbusiness.com, written by Aislinn Murphy, titled, Spirit Airlines stock plummets on report of potential bankruptcy filing. According to the author, the ultra-low-cost carrier is engaging in talks with bondholders and creditors about the possibility of filing for bankruptcy. The potential bankruptcy filing comes after Spirit's failed $3.8 billion merger with JetBlue Airlines. JetBlue announced plans in 2022 to merge with Spirit, but the carriers terminated the plan in March, citing regulatory challenges. Here are my thoughts. I don't consider Spirit Airlines to be an ultra-low-cost carrier. I used this carrier once, and I would never do it again. They charge for everything, including bags, drinks, and snacks. Their seats had very little padding, and the back of the seats were very generic looking. Once you factor in what is charged for bags and compare that with other airlines that don't charge for bags, you aren't really coming out ahead in some instances. When I traveled on Spirit, it didn't even feel like the Walmart of airlines. It felt more like a dollar-type store in a strip mall. It will be very interesting to see what happens with this company moving forward. Understand, I'm not discouraging you from traveling on Spirit. I'm simply sharing with you my own opinion and my personal experience. If you have traveled with Spirit, tell me about it in the comment section below. I read another interesting article today. This one was on Yahoo Finance, put out by Fox Business, and written by Breck Dumas, titled, Larry Summers says jobs report shows Fed's half-point rate cut was a mistake. According to the author, a former U.S. Treasury Secretary, Larry Summers, says September's better-than-expected jobs report shows the Federal Reserve's half-point rate cut was a mistake. Here are my thoughts. I agree with him. I don't think the Fed should have cut rates. If they were truly committed to their 2% inflation target that they talked about at multiple meetings, they wouldn't have cut rates this soon. If they cared about the working class Americans who are struggling with inflation across multiple aspects of their lives, they wouldn't have cut rates. Even though the Fed is supposed to be independent, there are people who believe they cut rates to impact the outcome of the presidential election. Please note, I didn't say that. I read this in an article and I reported about it here on the channel previously. I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. One commenter said, you would think Summers would know the Fed works for the 1%. The next commenter said, it was not a mistake. It was a deliberate attempt to affect the outcome of the coming election. They should be raising rates. Another commenter said, the Fed never gets it right. Well, my friends, the commenters always have interesting things to say. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. This next article was interesting. I read this on Yahoo Entertainment, put out by the Robb Report and written by Brian Hood, titled, Michael Jordan is the mystery owner of Pininfarina's new 1900 horsepower hypercar. According to the author, the high-powered EV is the latest addition to a stunning collection of cars the NBA great has built over the past 40 years. Here are my thoughts. This is an impressive car, but I don't understand why you would want a collection of expensive cars. You have to keep a battery tender on all of them so the batteries don't go dead. You have to keep the tires off the floor to keep them in good shape. You are still going to need to get oil changes routinely on the non-EV models. You are going to have to hire someone to keep them clean, unless you are going to put them in those zip-up bubbles. At some point, having all of these cars just becomes a burden. Maybe Michael Jordan doesn't care because he can hire people to maintain these vehicles. I worked at a car dealership many years ago. After a while, you become immune to the excitement about expensive cars. They just lose their appeal. If you've ever worked at a car dealership, you can probably relate. I hope Michael Jordan enjoys his expensive new toy. I hope he is careful with it. I'd hate to read about him crashing and getting injured or killed. Maybe he bought this car as an investment. Jay Leno bought a McLaren F1 years ago, and it has gone up in value quite a bit. I wouldn't want Michael Jordan's new car or Jay Leno's McLaren F1. I have no interest in sitting that low to the ground. This is why I'd never buy a Corvette either. I prefer to sit up higher in a vehicle. If I was going to buy a sports car, I'd probably buy a Dodge Demon. It is a limited production vehicle and it has amazing straight line performance, and you can sit upright in it just like a normal car. I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, "Who cares? It's not like you can use the horsepower on normal streets without speeding. Just think of the insurance cost as well. I don't understand why people buy these plastic fast cars when you can't really fully use them unless you go to a track. Just nothing but showboating. Look what I have." The next commenter asked, can he even fit inside that car? The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, "Tonight's headlines, a mega rich guy buys another mega expensive car so he can sit in bumper to bumper traffic or have it sit in his garage." I'm curious, what do you think about Michael Jordan's new car? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.